want to allude to with a view to threatening the issues. First is I will discuss the issue of Pastor Tonye who are here on the candidate of the All Progressive Congress for 2023 general election. I was away and I read via social media and print media, and in fact watched him on Arise television saying all manner of things that he felt he should say. Ordinarily, I would have ignored him because my media assistants have already taken him to the cleaner, because his case is, like a bangle that you're wearing in your hand. You don't need to go to a mirror to ascertain whether it fits you or not. But I just felt I should add a little to the well-worded responses that he got from my media aides. I am to say that Architect Tonye is a complete stranger in the sphere of politics. He's a stranger. I knew Architect Tonye in 2012 when I was working with the then governor of Rivers State at the Chief House, the Chief of Staff of Rivers State Government House. Tonye used to visit with us because it was at that point I knew that he was friends with the governor of Rivers State, my then boss. He visits with us, and for every visit he made to Rivers State, we provided him the presidential lodge inside government house. That's where he sleeps. People take care of him and everything. But once in a while, he strolls from, where the presidential lodge is, he strolls from there to the, where we call foundation, where the governor lives. And it was at that time that I knew that they were very close friends. And perhaps business colleagues and associates. So I knew him way back in 2012. And I think it was my first meeting with him. I have said that his business in Port Harcourt was clearly on personal grounds. And he was regular, with my then boss. He knew nothing and did nothing about politics. He did nothing and knows nothing about politics. When the name Tonye appeared, was at the point when Amaechi himself, as the leader, had polarized the party between. Can you cut off? Somebody's phone is ringing and it's distracting us. Whose phone is this? Somebody's phone is distracting. Come and silence the phone now. Who is that?
Nobody knows the phone.
Can you see my phone? Nobody here. It can be more. Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I said Tonye's name was mentioned in 2014. 2014. And it was at the heat. I said the party had polarized. There was the Magnus Abbey's camp, which and where I belonged. There was the Dakuku Peter's camp. And both of us were diametrically opposed. And in one of our meetings, I think it's a meeting at the then leader's house in Abuja, when he came and gave a riot act. I said, if you don't drop your this, I will introduce Tonye to be the candidate. Everybody sighed. We see the sigh in the room. Unfortunately, he had so much aura that people you expect to say no to certain things he does, they don't. I'm an 8, more or less. It wasn't me that was the challenge. Because it's meeting of elders, which LG represented somebody from that made up the elders council. I was the leader of Obiabo. So I was the representative of Obiabo in all the leadership meetings that were held. It was in Abuja, and then the ones here at peterobi Road, the dome or something. Peterobi Road here. It was the first time that name was mentioned. We didn't know that there was a plan that had been already hatched. They had planned, the governor then had planned a fallback. And maybe that's the reason why he instigated the disagreements in the party. So much so that as leader, you have not had a family that is divided, and you did nothing to see how you reconcile the groups. Instead, he mentioned that he was going to introduce a stranger element as far as we are concerned. Because Tonye had never played with us at all. And he called his name. And I can tell you the reaction or reactions of people. Some who couldn't talk about it, as soon as the meeting ended, they were saying, what does this man take us for? You know, it's the theory of, if you like, I can bring a vote to represent APC and the vote will win. So that was the first time in a political circle that I attended that Tonye's name was mentioned. And for me, it was a joke. If you ask me, it was a joke. Why? Is that I just felt that it's a mission impossible. It's a mission impossible. And I just felt, okay, maybe he unconsciously threw up a name just to see whether he can balance out the two groups. But it was serious business. It was serious. It was God at work that stopped the introduction of Tonye in 2015. And I can tell you that in 2015, at the point we were to decide who the governorship candidate of APC is or was, like, there was no Tonye of all the aspirants. There was no such name as Tonye. At least you are aware that Dabuku said he wanted to run. That Dr. Parker was running. Magnus Abbey was running. The last of Dr. Parker, even then the SSG, they had their latent interest being pushed across by certain persons. But the two major gladiators were Magnus and Dabuku. There was no mention. In fact, in our wildest dream, there was no mention of Tonye. So he didn't aspire. Maybe he was aspiring in his own mind and in the mind of his friend, who was then the governor of the state. But practically, he was not there. So 2015, Dabuku was produced as governorship candidate of the Pro-Wike Congress. And because the gulf that had been created before now couldn't be addressed. So most of us, that election, APC members went into the election divided. Those who supported Magnus and those who supported other people haven't found a rhythm in Dabuku's candidacy. Because there was no meeting where every other person and interest was put on the table and addressed. That's why if you ask some people, they will tell you that, oh, some party members did anti-party. That is, in other words, voted against that. But those who would have done that may not include me because, or would not include me because I was also a candidate for election as a representative of the above federal constituency. What is more, I was chief of staff. I haven't resigned. I was chief of staff. In other words, I'm the purveyor of the mind of the governor. I carry it. I implement it. So I knew too much. Too much. So it was one reason why APC faltered and flopped and was trumped and trounced by the PDP in 2015. One strong reason. We were divided. Even the Bible enjoins us to put our house together, that the house that is divided against itself will not stand. So we lost. I also lost. And we approached the tribunal, from tribunal to Court of Appeal, and Court of Appeal notified the election and went back again to recontest. And the same thing happened. And I mean, you can't kill yourself. So we all lost that election. And started preparation. We started doing what we call the post-mortem. I'm sure you understand what post-mortem is. An analysis after a thing that has happened, We started doing post-mortem from 2016 at the residence of the leader. Tonye was never there because I don't know who the local government he comes from. But the local government has a leader in that meeting. So he hasn't been a factor in the politics of Rivers State. He was never and will never. Because if you watch, immediately after his election, he disappeared to thin air. Have people heard that the candidate of APC in Rivers State organized a meeting or attempted to see how he can bring everybody together, even when we have said and over again that APC before we picked up was a social club and not a political party. So for him, a stranger in politics, to take to the media to say that I have no right, I have no power to speak for APC. According to him, the only reason he adduced was because I am a member of Wike's family. And I think it is very childish. But I listen to him too. Extremely, extremely childish. For them, that is not me. I'm well-bred and well-cultured. Politics is a game. Somebody will always say that politics is a game. Politics as a science is a game. It is not a game of enmity. It is a game, we call it that is a game of what? Interest. There is no permanent friend. There is no permanent enemy. What is permanent is interest. Why wouldn't I fraternize with Wike? Come to think of it. It's the man who made us, largely, to win election and break an age-long genes. Rivers State has been franchised to PDP over the years. But the proper word to use is that Rivers State is betrothed, or was betrothed to PDP since 1998-99. PDP had always won Rivers State back to back, governorship and presidential elections. PDP had always won. And so there was a magic wand that was at play, that rewrote that sordid history that made APC win in Rivers State presidential election. The same day we had presidential election was the same day that the National Assembly elections held. You will agree with me that PDP clinched 12, leaving 1 to APC because there was a compromise. House of Reps. PDP clinched the 3 senatorial seats. PDP clinched the president. I mean, that same PDP now caved into APC to win the presidential on that same election. Don't you see the magic wand? You don't see the hand of God inside it. God used man to make it possible. And that, as a candidate, I have challenged him over and over again, times and again, and I challenge him again today, that he should show me or show Rivers people any billboard bearing Tinubu's picture and advert for presidential election. And here he traversed around the 23 LGAs to campaign to be governor of the state. Let him show me. If they like, they can go and print it this night, people will understand. But I've thrown this challenge, and I'm saying again, let him show one poster that I'm around the vicinity of his campaigns in the LGAs, that Tinubu picture was or is engraved in as a chairman of secretary of their board when Williams Owike was minister for education. So as far as is concerned, everything about that election result was a sham because it didn't go his way. Is there anything else that you want me? Charlie wanted me the other day. Charlie had already advised me the other day that we should always face the issues. But if I take the issues as far as I'm concerned, the way I'm taught and the way I teach, is that when I write or I talk to people, I give you the impression to have knowledge, deeper knowledge of that thing, not at a superficial level. APC Rivers State started in 2014, and Chief Tonye Okocha was the chief of staff. I was at the background. If you know the responsibilities of a chief of staff, you will know what roles I possibly played when we are taking a decision to leave PDP. That decision was known to the governor, His Excellency, and myself only. You're aware that GMB, as he then was, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he then was president had added a bit. What's this man that was the acting chairman then? Bisi Akonde led a delegation of like minds, and they came to Rivers State. Some of you who are in Port Harcourt here knew, or I can say knows, let it be continuous, what happened at the Amaechi Mega Stadium. It was filled to the brim. And you also see, like the church people, you will see it overflow. I was the chairman of the mobilization committee. Subcommittee. I was. The chairman of the Central Working Committee was the then Deputy Governor, His Excellency. I was the chairman of the subcommittee for mobilization. And I worked in tandem with the chairman of councils who were more like reporting to me every day to ensure that that hall, that place, that venue was filled to the brim. It was that was the day they came to make the advance. You know, the day they came to woo us as the very pretty bride or pretty woman that we were. It was at the government house where I hold sway. I hold sway in government house. Every other person else is a stranger. Because if I say there will be no food here, there will be no food. If I say there will be no light, I will refuse to fund the people who supply us diesel. That is my own territory, my presence. When we took a decision to join the PDP, I mean the APC, because we have been shaved. Completely, our hairs have been shaved against our will, against our wish. So we needed a shoulder to lean on. And we took a decision that we would move. It was in government house, if you remember, that decision was made public by His Excellency Tonye Amaechi. Because we had to invite, the day they spoke to us, we said, well, fine, we have heard you, but allow us time to also go and brainstorm and ruminate on the issues that you have raised. When we were done, we invited them. They came inside government house. That event held by the helipad there. That was where the event held. And we told through our leader, the emissary, that we were game for the party, the new party. I'm saying, and I want to say again, that I was central. I was central to this decision. I was central to the implementation of the decision. And so nobody in this state can tell me about how APC came to the River State. Nobody knows more than I do know. Give it, granted, give it to the leader, the governor. But he also made everything else possible. I have told you here that we came into APC. When people will say, oh, ANPP, NPDP and all that, those were secondary. The primary thing was that we had to attend a convention in Abuja of CPC. That's the platform. CPC was at Buhari's system. That was a platform first. We sent young men and women to Abuja to go and attend because we were already in the picture. We had paid our dues. NPDP was secondary. We had passed CPC and all that. NPDP became secondary. So I know from the foundation to the structure today, I've never left APC. Never. But I belong to the group in APC, even though we don't have a gathering place. But I belong to those who antagonized the system constructively. We felt that the party was degenerating into a one-man show. We saw administrative ineptitude. We saw a total lack in managerial acumen. There was no party building indices or variables that you can discern. And we said, no. We fought it. A lot of you are following up now. We fought a whole lot. Intellectual battle. At the point it became that we were constantly at the courtrooms. That was what we did. But I never moved one day from APC to any other party. And I challenge anybody again who will say that I moved. Those who left party at the levels at the level that I am, wrote letters to say, look, we have left, we are resigning, and we are joining another political party. I want anybody to show me one. Anybody should show me where in my ward, of course, you know, politics is local, that I was at any point suspended or expelled from the party. Saying that I wasn't party member is because I did not acquiesce to the nonsense that I was saying, of course, which had led us to where we are as a political party. And I never moved. So I have the audacity, I have the temerity. You can add more to these dictions to speak about APC in Rivers State than I won't even say, I won't be comparing myself to Tonye. It's going to be a categorical mistake. So I can't sit down because I've told you here that the knowledge of where we are going was between my boss then and myself. Both of us also decided who will be chairman and secretary. He came out and said, well, let's use one chief that, you know, he was saying the guy, I'm telling you the highest. He said he was commissioner, my first term, but let's use him. That's how we got Ikai. Davis. He named Davis Ikai. I haven't met him before. When your boss has spoken, it means that he knows him. And then say, let's look for a second. Both of us, let's use the mega brigade. I was the one that conveyed, because he told me he would speak to Ikai in Lagos. And I should tell the mega brigade. I was the one that conveyed the decision that the mega brigade will be secretary of APC in 2014, 2015. I challenge anybody to tell me that there was a meeting that we held where we chose who is the chairman and who is the secretary. The meeting was between my boss, Chief Amaechi, His Excellency, and myself. So what is it that I don't know in the party? What, please? So I have every power, just to counter what he says. I have every power, every reason. I have the audacity to speak for APC. Especially now that the party has recognized me as both the chairman and the leader of the party in the state. So that I see Wike, Wike is honorable minister, and I greet him. That makes me a member of his political family. I'm in APC. Wike is in PDP. Didn't people see him at their last state congress? He was adorning his own uniform with his people. He spoke and said he wasn't going to leave PDP. I'm APC. I wrote before and after congratulating or advising PDP to ensure that their congresses come out seamlessly. But I also told them, reminded them that we'll meet at the Philippines at the fullness of time. That's how politics is supposed to be played. I can't play politics of bitterness, please. I can't play politics of animosities. Or maybe you think that politics is a place where you come and split vendetta. I don't, that's not my style, it's not my orientation, it's not my learning. I'm in law decent, and I don't do that. That you are, in politics, is not enmity, it is opponent. If you are not working with me, you are my opponent. But some people say you are my enemy. It is not my own style. I will never be. What is more, Ezewo, His Excellency, Ezewo Nyesom Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS, you can go ahead and call the titles, serves in a government that the person who sits there is the leader of my party. He's serving under President Tinubu as a minister, for that matter. And by that very fact, he is a member of the Renewed Hope family in Rivers State. Renewed Hope, I have told people and you will know, is not partisan. It's free for everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. He thought that those sea of heads that you saw the other time walking the street, you think that all of them are APC members. No, some are not aligned, who are not in political party, but who believe in the renewed hope agenda. So I can't be sure, I can't feel sure that anybody will imagine that because Wike is PDP, then I am APC, that we should not talk. We only see ourselves, we shouldn't even greet ourselves. That is around nonsense. It is degenerate and it's condemnable, and I so condemn. That's on code, and the issues you raised. Maybe I'll find time to, as I travel to Abuja now, to feature in my rice program. But I believe that this one too can help. The other issue that we called you out is, I promise you that at every stage of our legal tussle, I will brief you. Not actually to tamper, that is the subject matter, such. Because I'm aware of the word called sub judice. So when a matter is before the court, if you discuss it after the court, you say it is sub judice. And be careful. But there are still important things that I must let you know, which may not affect what is going on in the court. That matter is it's on. You recall that we got an order restraining INEC, restraining the police, the DSS, from participating in any local government election that they have on their own, without consultations with the parties, taken as dates for local government election. We said INEC don't produce to them the voters register. So maybe they will go and manufacture voters register from Imo State. Police don't provide security. DSS don't ever attempt. We got that order. So that order is in place. Our colleagues, our friends, went to challenge that order at the Court of Appeal. A date had been fixed for the matter to the motion, the issues to commence. When they came, they told the judge that they have gone to appeal court to appeal that decision. It was okay. They went to appeal court threw back the matter and told them to stop abusing court process. There's an abuse of court process, and they should go back to the court. Very high. So on the 29th of thereabout, if my memory is sharp enough to remember, the matter came up at the Federal High Court for hearing. What did they see? Another drama. Our lawyer, of course, APC is the plaintiff. Our lawyer stood up, recognized himself, introduced himself, and all that. So one man that says he's legal advisor, he had done that before. I can't tell him, but I didn't see reason to do the same thing that we did the other time. It appeared childish. Stood up. They said, what is it? He says he's the plaintiff in this matter, that because he's the legal advisor of the party. So the judge asked our lawyer, what is going on? The man said, I disown him, I don't know him. We thought that had died. The others who were in the matter started introducing themselves, you know how the lawyers behave. Another man stood up, one senior advocate, Chris Uche, stood up and said that he's lawyer for APC. In other words, APC now has two lawyers in the case. He's lawyer for APC. That man that stood up, that our senior advocate said he disowned, that he is owning him. Argument left, right, and center. all agreed that if they start arguing that issue, and the same man, as soon as he stood up, when he said he won this, that he has come to the court to tell the court that he's discontinuing from the matter. In other words, APC is discontinuing from the case. So the judge said, you should go and put your things in writing so that we don't crisscross here. Bring them together and then adjourn the matter to tomorrow, October 3rd. This is October. September. Oh my God, I'm a year ahead. I'm a month ahead. It must be Rosemary that's causing me this wild. So the matter was adjourned to tomorrow, 3rd September 2024. One of the issues that will be resolved is the issue of who is the legal representative of what? The APC. Is it J.B. Daudu, SAM, who was the one who fired a case and who has followed up the case? Because you know, initially they had come to court, to say that they want to be joined. The court said you cannot be joined. The judge agreed, they can't be joined. So this is their next other line. Okay? By bringing another, that one said that he was briefed by the chairman of APC in River State, Emeka Beke, and the legal advisor. It's not a thing that I would say. I know that one is in court. But I know that the constitution of my party, it is only the national legal advisor that briefs lawyers to represent the party. If in PDP, it is the legal advisor of the state that decides. It's not the same in APC. We are clear. It is the legal advisor, national legal advisor, that briefed my lawyer, the APC. So it will be plenty of a trouble. By tomorrow, matter is up. It's this flight difficulties, but I must leave this time by tomorrow 8:30 a.m. And luckily for me, the matter too was slated for 12 noon. So plus minus, even if it means moving from the airport to the courtroom, Federal High Court, I will do that. I'll be there and see how the matter is resolved, left or right. Now, we have put in place, we have said plenty of things about the local government election. And I would wish to share this Local Government Amendment Law number 4 of 2024. Now, particularly on the issue as contained in section 9.3. Section 9.3 of the principal law is amended to read thus. A new local government election shall hold before the expiration of 3 years tenure of the outgoing local government administration, which began from the date of their swearing in. I didn't write it. It's signed here. It's a law that 3 months before the expiration of the incumbent, the ones who are already in the council, that what should happen, that there should be local government election. The life of the chairman or the councils don't lapse on, is it 17 June? 17 June. In other words, the election would have been July, June, May. The election should have been somewhere in May.
Yes.
Did it hold? Does it conform with this law?
No.
And it is for that reason that I was shouting, you people are my witnesses, so that we went to visit with the INEC commissioner and the the commission. And in that meeting, the only reason we went there, or the reasons why we went there, was to introduce ourselves to the new commission and then to tell them to conduct election. Their business is just to conduct local government election and they hands off. Is there any other responsibility they have?
No.
So on that meeting, about the meeting, some of you here who attended that meeting, okay, asked me what was the essence of the meeting. And I said, it was 19th of January, I don't forget that date. I said to them that we have come to visit with the man, the commission, and introduce ourselves, and then to urge him to commence the process for election. That was January, which means January, February, March, when we were the 3 months we were in. Did they conduct the election? The answer is no. I forgot I would have also brought another law that talks about appropriation. Of course, you know that there is no appropriation without the State House of Assembly. There's no budget. Okocha judgment, which they refused to appeal, had directed in that judgment that they should represent the budget, because that you cannot give approve a budget with 5 assembly members in the 32-member house. Judgment. In the president's intervention, the president also in that intervention, if you have the 8-point agenda on that presidential proclamation, the president also said, go and represent this budget. In other words, Rivers State is still running without, they are spending money not appropriated for. So now, we have passed the 3 months that the laws specified. There is no money that has been officially appropriated to RISIEC. Under what law would this election come? Are we in Banana Republic? You mean anybody can just wake up and make proclamations in a civil society? That can happen in the days of the early men. But in a civilized society of today, ruled by laws, rules, ethos, guidelines, ethics, somebody wakes up from his sleep and says, I will do this, without recourse to the law. So how can we possibly contest election when all of these things are? But I said to you that it's not my decision anymore. The matter is before a court of competent jurisdiction, and we would like to hear them as soon as possible. The judge has said that he has a mandate of this chief judge to dispense with the matter. So all of these delay tactics, rigmaroles, that and that, will not work. It is still time bound. It is. So we're on good street, and I assure you that after at the point, I'll call you again to tell you where the court has reached on the matter. I'm not going to preempt the court, but we'll tell you this is where we have reached on this matter so that we keep you abreast. On the party, APC, you were part of, you were present at our first expanded stakeholders meeting, which held at our office, 268B, above Port Harcourt Expressway. You saw the thunderous ovation. You saw the joy in the hearts of people. You saw the outbursts that came out from the people, consciously and unconsciously. All saying that you are happy, you are expressing joy that the party has come alive again. That the party has been removed from Osahe approach, and that we mean business. it was heard. And you also are aware that in that meeting, we gave directives to the LGS to go and organize their own LGA meetings and invite us to attend. We don't believe in, being stereotyped. Okay, we'll draw a timetable. Today is the day of what they are. The other day, no, we want it to be original, organic. That's how we operate. And I'm happy to inform you that that directive, is followed. The entire non-indigenous in Rivers State who are members of APC have done so. Yes, I was not in Port Harcourt, but I had a representative of the party. And that meeting was held at the party secretariat, the non-indigenous group. And in that meeting, unfortunately, we were here, I can't even play the tape. They made it clear where they stand. They made it clear where they stand. They said they stand and sit and lie down with our leadership. They made that clear. We were in, I was in Oyibo 2 days ago, Saturday. Yeah, Oyibo had also taken their own place. It was a sight to behold when we got to Oyibo. Though I didn't give them signal that I was coming, but the leader there, former House of Reps member, Right Honorable Nnamdikanu, had sent me a message about the meeting and pleaded with me to send a representative. But I wanted an eyewitness account. So before he could say Jack, he told me 11 o'clock. Before he could say Jack, I was there and I was calling him. He said as soon as I told him that I was close, he also started running to come to the venue. My brother, it was a tsunami. It was a tsunami. So as far as the party is concerned, we have competent hands. We have people who are well experienced and tested in party building and planting. We have men and women who can take the stage without a piece of paper and achieve whatever purpose it is. So the party is very much, of course, if anybody tells you anything different, the person is wasting his time. Till tomorrow, I'm sure you also heard, one of my good friends here sent to me a group called themselves chairman of branches. I went to CAC, they are not registered. That organization is not registered in CAC. So how do they operate?
MBA.
Not MBA, the chairman of MBA branches that had the press conference. That organization is not registered. So it is to that extent a nullity. And the issues they raised, I felt like breaking my head. I just felt like hitting my head on the wall. That they need me to apologize for denigrating on the judge called Apricot. Huh? That judge called Apricot. Business, Apricot, I know. That I should apologize. I said, apologize how? For what? What did I do wrong? If I did anything wrong, that culture, I would say I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who is the person I should apologize to. But in this case, I didn't do anything wrong. I had told the man publicly and privately that he should leave my case, that he is biased. And I made a letter to the CJ of the state on the 20th of March, 2024. Please, this man is biased on this matter. Let him recuse. The law says recuse yourself if you are so challenged. And I think it was one of these things that we had there. I I said, I named 2 judges who will tell you, don't worry, don't write petition. Just come to an open court and tell me that you don't want me. I will send the file straight back to the CJ for reassignment. But this one, we begged him, don't leave our matter now. My secretary of the caretaker committee, found himself one day in the court. And I don't know that they are friends. He saw him and said, hey, Secretary Eric, come. He's here.